The last thing I want to talk about in this section is solving systems of inequalities. We did this before when we had two linear inequalities where we graphed the two lines and you shaded above or below and we were looking for where the shading overlapped. We can do the exact same thing even if we have parabolas. Okay, so that's what we're going to see here. So the first system that we want to graph is y is greater than x squared minus 4, and x plus y is less than 4. So I'm going to start by graphing this. That, of course, is a parabola, and it's shifted down 4. I'm just going to use my basic transformations for this. So our vertex is here. If you want to plug in one other point, that'd be great. When you plug in 1, you get -3, and you can reflect that point over here, and that's good enough to make your parabola. Now, since it's a greater than, not a greater than or equal to, this is going to be a dotted line, not a solid line. So do our best to make that. And then since it's greater than, we are going to shade above the parabola. So you're going to shade the part that's inside here. Okay, so that's what this inequality looks like. The next thing we're going to do is graph this line. You can solve that for y if you'd like. It makes it a little easier to see what's going on. So y is less than -x plus 4. So we're going to go to 4, count our slope of -1. This is another dotted line because it's just less than. And we want to shade, since it's less than, we're going to shade below. So we are looking for the overlap of places that are below the line and above the parabola. And that's going to be that section. I'm going to erase out this section because that's not in the overlap. Okay. And that's what this is going to look like. Let's check out Desmos. Desmos does a really nice job of these things. So here is that y is greater than x squared minus 4. Okay, you can see that they've shaded above the parabola, below the line, and this section of overlap is where we want to look. So let's try another one of these. We're going to solve this system of inequalities by graphing as well. So we'll start with the parabola. Now this parabola, we can't just use our basic transformations for that. It's in standard form. It's not even in vertex form, which is unfortunate. The one thing that we can tell is the y-intercept is -12. We'll come back to that. But we can't find the vertex to this. Okay, even if it's not in vertex form, remember the vertex is x equals -b over 2a. So we can figure out what x is. -b is going to be -6 over 2 times 1. So our vertex happens at 3 something. Sorry, -3 something. There we go. Okay, and if you want to find the y value that goes with that, you just have to plug in -3 back into the original. So I'm going to do that in my calculator. -3 squared, make sure you put that in parentheses. -3 in parentheses. 6 times -3 minus 12, and we get -21. Okay, to get this to fit on the graph, I'm going to go by 2's. Okay, this graph is going to be by 2's, the x and y axis. So -3, -21 is going to be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. I think I got that. Right there. Okay. The other thing that we know is the y-intercept is -12. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, which is right there. And then we can use symmetry to reflect that point over here, and that's good enough. Now we have our parabola. This is another dotted line. It's going to go up like that. And we want to shade above it. So we're going to shade in here. All right, time for the line. We can solve this for y. So we get -y is greater than or equal to -3x minus 8. Divide everything by -1. Remember, when you do that, that's going to flip the inequality. We get y is less than or equal to 3x plus 8. So we're going to go to 8 on our y-axis. Remember, everything's by 2's. And then you're going to count your slope up 3 over 1, up 3 over 1, 3 over 1, and we can go down 3 over 1 here, and then down 3 over 1. You get the idea. This one's actually going to be a solid line, and we're going to shade below it. So we want the area that is below the line and above the parabola. So that overlap's going to happen right there, not that part. So get that out. Okay. And we can go check this on Desmos. Not that one, that's the last one. Okay, so there's that one with that vertex at -3, -21, like we said. There's the line, and our shading overlapped right there in the middle. All right, we next want to solve this equation. We could solve it like we did the last problems where we get everything on the same side and factor it or use a quadratic formula. Or we can use a graphic calculator to do this. Let me show you how this works. Just take each side of the equation and separate it. So on Desmos, you're going to graph this parabola. And then take this side of the equation. And we are going to find where those two things intersect. Okay, we're going to find where they're equal. So we're going to graph the parabola, we're going to graph the line, and see where the intersection point is. So just come over to Desmos for that. I don't need those anymore. Hang on, I've got the wrong button pushed. Okay, here's that parabola, y equals x squared plus 9x minus 5. And here's that line, y equals 4 minus 3x. And we're looking for intersection points. It looks like there's one there, 0.708 and 1.875. It looks like they're going to intersect up there. So zoom out, make sure you can find it. And there's the other one. So those are your two solutions. Rather than having to go through the pain of probably using the quadratic formula, we can just use Desmos for this one. All right, we'll try the last one here. We're going to do the exact same thing on this try it. If you want to pause me and try it on your own and then come back and check your answer, totally fine. We're going to solve this by writing a system, linear quadratic. So first, you're going to do the quadratic side. You're going to put this in Desmos. That's going to give you a parabola. And then you're going to put this side in Desmos. And you're going to see where they intersect. And those are going to be your solutions. So going over to Desmos, that's the last problem. We don't need that. So here's the quadratic side. Y equals 3x squared minus 7x plus 4. Press the home, get zoomed back in like normal. And then y equals 9 minus 2x. We've got a solution there. It looks like there's going to be another one up there when we zoom out. And sure enough, here's the other one. Okay, so we can use Desmos to find these as well. Most of the time we'll use our algebraic techniques like we did in the very first video, but Desmos is a powerful tool as well.